Hey there everyone, and welcome back to this No Powers playthrough of Dishonored 2. So, last episode, thanks to the helpful folk on Reddit, we made our way through the Dust District, opened the Jindash lock, and now we are going to go find Mr. Aramis Stilton. So, luckily for us, there is a very easy way to get through this particular level that involves not having to grab the combination to enter Stilton's office, which that makes our lives a bit easier. So I've been watching a lot of speedruns. Apparently the fastest way to get through this section is to kill Stilton, because then you don't have to have the conversation with him. Naturally, I'm not going to do that, because the low chaos player in me just like cringes at the thought of that. Unfortunately, I can't skip the outsider's little spiel here, but I did amuse myself for a bit, throwing a whiskey glass at him. For some reason, the game won't let you hit the outsider with a whiskey glass. I can't imagine why.
Delilah's plan. And a part of Aramis Stilton is always here. Still breaking.
And then of course I threw it up and was like, shit, now I can't get it back, because it's frozen up there.
Than you could ever know.
You know, mistakes were made.
It watches you from within. And at the heart of Stilton's
So once the outsider stops his little spiel here, we will get the timepiece, and instead of trying to be unseen like I did in my previous playthrough, I'm kind of just going to run through the different time eras. I think most of the stuff I'm going to do is going to end up being in the past. Not 100% sure, but we'll see. Alright, outsider, I get it. Timepiece, let's go.
And Delilah. See for yourself what they did.
Alright, that is a very long dialogue section that is completely unskippable, but you know, oh well. Just gonna take a moment to equip sleep darts, because I'll need those, and also the timepiece. Alright, so we are just gonna run our way through this area. The fastest way to get to where we're going is to go through the kitchen, because then we don't have to go and get the master key to let us into the main kind of reception area. I don't have double jump, so I thought that would be a problem, but luckily there was a pickaxe there that let us jump up this wall here. There's a hound down there. Just waiting for him to walk past a little so that I could skedaddle out of there. At this point, we're gonna jump to the past. There's 20 million guards that see us, but it's fine. As long as we make it out to the balcony. Okay, so if you knock out Stilton in the past, then he never goes into his office, he never attends the seance, he never sees what happens with Delilah, and basically he never goes mad. So if you do that, his office isn't actually locked in the present, it's just boarded off, and you can knock the boards down and enter the office that way. So it just saves you quite a bit of time, and definitely it's just more convenient, because then you can stay on the balcony, shoot a sleep dart at him, and you don't have to go down and then back around. I know there's a way to skip this particular conversation, but I obviously didn't do it right, because, well, here we are. These guys are waiting on Stilton, but he's not going to show up because I knocked him out. Also, there are definitely a ton of benefits, at least to the in-game universe, to knocking out Stilton, and I'm actually mildly upset that I didn't realize that on my first playthrough, because my whole goal for my first playthrough of this game was to get the best ending possible, but I didn't knock Stilton out because I didn't realize that would have an effect, mostly because I didn't really realize what would happen plot-wise. So yeah, it has an extremely profound effect on not just Stilton himself, but also the in-game universe and Megan Foster, of all people. So I'm moving on here. Got a little confused because it's still at a marker there, but then I realized, oh, I have to move forward to initiate the next section. Unfortunately, this section is also unskippable. I wish to God that it was, because the Duke's voice literally sounds like fingernails scraping down a chalkboard to me. It's just like, his voice is awful. Ugh, ugh. You can see me kind of shaking my head at him in disapproval. But, anyway, this is how Delilah, escaped the Void, which is mildly frustrating as a Dowd player that trapped her in the Void, going, well, Dowd, there goes all your hard work. And as we can see in this section, she actually ends up putting a piece of herself inside of this effigy here so that she will become immortal, and that's why Corvo couldn't kill her at the very beginning of the game. So now that that puzzle is solved, we know how we can kill Delilah. Don't mind me, sir. Seriously, don't mind me, it's fine. So I didn't actually realize how big of a difference the world would have if you spare Stilton. So when I jumped back to the present here, I had a moment where I didn't actually realize it was the present. I was like, oh, this kind of looks exactly the same. Maybe the timepiece just isn't working and I'm stuck in the past. Nope, this was the present. This was everything being fixed, essentially. Because, well, if Stilton kind of retained his sanity, then his manner didn't fall into disrepair, etc., etc., so. Oh no, we're falling. Whatever will we do? It's okay, the outsider's here, and he probably won't drop us. Thanks, man. So in case anyone was wondering about the outsider's backstory, here it is.
Look around you. A crumbling island at the very edges of the void. But this one is special. It's the place where my throat was cut 4,000 years ago. This is where my life ended, and where it began again. It's where they made me.
This part of the void feels older.
Right up until the end, I thought I'd find a way to escape. I fought, but the wounds only cut my skin, so I went limp. And then the knife touched my throat, and I knew I'd waited too long. The blood ran out, and I became a god. Now you know Delilah's secret. At the end of her days, she drifted through the void and should have been lost forever. But her will and cunning are second to none. She found this place, the island in the void where I became what I am. It changed her, and she discovered a way to draw from it, tapping into the power here. Delilah is a part of me now, and I don't like it.
I mean, I can't say I would like that either, so can't exactly blame the guy.
You have to give Delilah credit. She tore out a piece of herself and hid it away, inside a thing made of bones. She's made herself immortal. If you want to kill Delilah, you're going to have to find her spirit and give it back to her. Reaching it won't be easy, but what comes after that might be the hardest thing you will ever have to do.
Wow, not ominous in the slightest. Kinda got stuck on the floor there, but it's fine.
The world contains more mysteries than I imagined.
Alright, so, immediate difference. This is the point in time where I noticed, I was like, oh my god, everything's fixed, what the heck? And of course I'm going back through this section because I thought that the front entrance was still barricaded. It's not, because there's no guards or anything.
Hello there.
But we do get to meet Lucia Pastor, whose dialogue I included because I thought it was interesting.
Lucia Pastor, right? You deserve thanks for helping the people here.
Considering who you are, I don't know whether to feel honored that you recognize me, or to yell at you for propping up the Duke while he's shitting all over Serkonos.
And who do you think I am?
I'm not stupid. Whether the newspapers and the posters in the street are right or wrong, I know who you are. And I hope you're here to end Luca Abella's tyranny. Either way, we haven't been sitting around waiting for you to clean up your mess.
Sounds like you have a plan.
No, nothing that solid. Not yet. But I believe the Duke will fall, eventually. All I can say is that when you reach the Grand Palace, just be aware that not everyone there is your enemy. Trust your judgment.
All right. I'll remember that.
Anyway, good luck. There's still a chance to make something new here in Karnaca. Something that serves everyone, not just some rapacious bastard with a title.
For those who might not be aware, Lucia is actually a close friend of Stilton's and one of the advocates for the miners working down in the silver mines. And in the alternate universe where this area is a rundown mess and Stilton is not himself, she actually runs a soup kitchen for the survivors in the area.
Maybe no one else will even
So
notice.
kind of nice to see that, you know, she's okay. Everything else is okay. And probably the biggest surprise for me, which I actually didn't realize immediately because I just wasn't paying attention, Megan still has her arm in her eye. Because, well, if Stilton remained himself, he didn't ever barricade himself away in his mansion, which means that Megan never had a reason to go looking for him to be like, hey, Stilton, are you okay? And there were never any looters that then attacked Megan and caused her to get severely injured. So, needless to say, when I realized that, I was like, oh my god, I can't believe I didn't do this in my previous playthrough, but like, it's fine, it's fine. So anyway, that is Mission 7. All in all, pretty quick, pretty easy. Still one of my favorite missions in the game. I just love the way that the game developers utilize the whole past-present thing. Hi, Jessamine.
You should be at peace.
It's her last night, guys. This is gonna be sad. Took a moment to look at Wyman's answer. I really, really, really hope that at some point we actually get to meet Wyman in-game, because as of yet, the only appearance Wyman has made is in a spin-off novel. But, you know. And hey, look, Stilton's on the boat! Hey man, glad to see you're doing okay. And of course, this was the point where I realized, oh my god, look at Megan! She never got hurt, holy shit! And also the exact moment when I realized, well, I really messed up in my first playthrough because I didn't get the best ending, clearly, because, well, Stilton sure wasn't here and Megan was still injured. But, you know, it's fine, it's fine. I'm totally not going to play another low-chaos playthrough just to get that really good ending. I probably will at some point, but not yet, because after this playthrough, well, I gotta play through high chaos at some point, right? Even though I really, really dislike high chaos, but I'm gonna do it. So at this point I could have interrupted the conversation and started the mission, but I was just interested to see how the dialogue changed with Stilton on board because, well, obviously that never happened in my first playthrough. So I walked up to Stilton like, maybe I can talk to him. Nope. Just Megan, but that's fine.
Are you ready for this?
It's not
Hello,
widely
Mr. Stilton.
known, but the Duke has a body double.
He does have a body
The man
double.
is the spitting image of Luca.
Okay, so first things first. We have to get to the palace, and that in itself,
Ready to
well,
visit the Duke?
in my original low chaos playthrough, it was a pain in the ass. In this playthrough, it'll be significantly easier because, surprise, surprise, we're just going to run our way up to the gate.
At the palace.
I have no idea if this is faster than walking up the stairs over there, but I did it. Alright, and here are our friends down at this dock here with their supplies. I'm not gonna bother trying to enter the boat because it's locked, but I will grab this stuff here. Like I actually need any of it, I don't, but you know, it's fine. Might as well have it just in case. Please, sir. I don't want to be caught right away, I gotta look at stuff first. So I was checking to see how many rewire tools I had. Luckily I still had 2, so that was the exact number that I wanted. So I didn't need to go to the shop, because I was debating just going to the shop so I could buy more. But I was good, so here I am, running past everybody. Such finesse, such strategy. Alright, so I am making this wall of light neutral to me. And that was, you know, pretty easy. And then because I don't have far reach, I can't go across the cables, so I'm just going to take the carriage like a scrub. Okay, so, the palace. Holy shit, the palace. When I said 2 episodes earlier that the Clockwork Mansion was the bane of all speedrunners, yes, it is. But the Grand Palace is even worse. Why, you may ask? Well, because the Duke can spawn in 5 different places. He can spawn in his bedroom, his office, Delilah's room, the throne room, or his private garden.
Maybe I can find
You do not know, until you start looking around the level, where the Duke has spawned. So I spent probably, I don't know how long, but a disgusting amount of time running around, because the problem was, I knew where all the locations were except for the private garden. Do you want to have a guess as to where the Duke spawned? That's right, the private garden. And of course the body double spawned in the easiest place to get to, which is the Duke's bedroom. So, just my luck. But after a lot of running around and exploring, I did find the garden. Be aware, it has a hidden arc pylon, just like the throne room does, so you're going to have to disable that if you want to get closer. And I did kind of take a moment to back off, just because I figured it would make my life a lot easier if I didn't have 20 guards running after me. The private garden actually ended up working out pretty well, all things considered, once I was able to find it, just because it is the location closest to the vault. So it was pretty easy to just take care of the Duke and then head straight for the vault. Hey, buddy. I could have shot him, but I wanted to try to get his unique death animation, and I got it. Ouch. Later, my man, you were a jackass. Sorry guys, but you were in my way. And then of course I started walking and went, oh shit, I need his key. That would suck if I showed up at the vault and didn't have his key. So, it wasn't a necessity to rewire this Clockwork Soldier, but I did it anyway, just because I really didn't want to be bothered. So, there you go, buddy. Plus, if any other guards showed up, he would take care of them for me, which would be helpful. Of course, no guards did show up, but I can guarantee if I hadn't used that rewire tool on him, guards would have shown up and been like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And he would have been like, I don't know, man. Let me help you kill this girl. I got stuck in the tree. Please. Alright, and here we are. We are going to transfer Delilah's soul fragment into the heart. So, goodbye, Jessamine. I'll miss you. And now we're carrying around a piece of Delilah's soul. So, handle that with care, because we are going to need that. Hey friend, we're leaving.
There.
So I ended up kind of sprinting on top of the water briefly there, and I think it did something to affect my swimming speed, because I don't remember being able to swim this fast before. But, you know, I'm not going to complain. And there is our buddy Megan, here to pick us up. You can hear some people up there because I think that's where the Duke's private garden is. And they're going, oh my god, there's a body. There is. Just gonna parkour. Nailed it.
So, is that it? The fall of Karnaca?
Duke Abel is dead. Long live whatever comes next.
Back to the dreadful whale, then, and on toward Dunwall.
Yes, at long last. To take back the throne and find a way to save my father.
Ready then?
You're right, Emily. It's been a long time coming, but we are finally about to start the last mission. So there you go. Killed a few people, got detected by a lot of people, but I did finally find the Duke. And I know that that probably looked pretty easy. It did not show all of the time spent trying to find that damn garden. But hey, now that I know where it is, it's going to make future playthroughs of that level a hell of a lot easier. So. Alright, it's time. So, because we managed to keep an overall low chaos level, not entirely sure how, because we were detected by a fuck ton of people, but maybe it's because we didn't actually kill that many individuals, I don't know. But anyway, because we managed to stay at a low chaos level, we will get the dialogue with Megan that unlocks her backstory. Now, I'm going to skip past through it, but I'm assuming anyone that's watching at this point is aware. So, spoilers for the next, like, few seconds. Megan is actually Billy Lurk, which I was beside myself when she said that, because I was hoping when they initially announced Megan that she was Billy Lurk, and I'm glad that they decided to go through with that, because there are a lot of possibilities. There's actually a room down in the break area, I suppose it's called, that's locked, and if you pickpocket Megan's key that she has there, you can actually enter the room, and inside it is like wanted posters of her and Dowd, and like an audio log that Dowd left behind, and anyway, so pretty cool. I really hope that the DLC that we get for this game involves getting to play as Billy and locate Dowd, which the ending seems to indicate, but we'll see. So there is a shop on my right hand side there, but I decided to skip it. I didn't think that I needed any more rewire tools, and I was correct. So it was a bit of a risk, me deciding to not stock back up on those. but it worked out okay.
That's a shame.
The only enemy in this level is a few dogs, and then if you go up to Emily's secret entrance area and talk into the microphone, a couple witches. So there is an overseer over here who has been left for dead. I did talk to him, and I'll explain why in a second.
I saw the High Overseer fall. All is lost. Leave this place.
The Abbey assaulted the tower?
Somehow we were overcome. Not just Delilah's sorcerers and their gravehounds, but mechanical men. Automated soldiers. The ancient music was useless against them.
Rest now. But know that I'm going to end Delilah's reign. I swear it.
Go then, and carry the blessing of the Abbey with you. End Delilah and make Dunwall whole again for all the people of the Empire.
So I decided to talk to him because I did have a conversation with him in a previous playthrough and I had powers, and he was like, oh my god, you're tainted too. This entire, city is just terrible and it's all going to hell. So I wanted to see how he would react if I didn't have powers, and obviously he reacted much more favorably. So I need to go ahead and open the gate, which is why I am getting a whale oil canister prepped, because I need to power the gatehouse. Alright, there we go. Lights have turned on, we're good to go, and there goes the gate. And apparently a bunch of guards were deserting. Kinda late to realize that everything had gone to shit, guys. Maybe you should have realized that before you let Delilah take over. I mean, I'm just throwing that out there. But maybe I'm still bitter that half of the Royal Guard decided to betray me, As one might be in that situation. So Delilah has clearly been busy, frozen a bunch of overseers here. There are a lot of hounds in this section, so I am just going to hold down on that sprint key and never let go. Hi guys, don't mind me, don't mind me. Nope, I don't know what you were lunging for, lady, but I was not there. So this was very interesting because there's a faster way to get in than repowering the elevator. Instead, you can actually go and locate Jessamine's secret room that was in the first game, and it ends up connecting to Emily's safe room, which is pretty cool. So I decided to do exactly that. The problem, there are a lot of witches in this level, and witches are very hard to de-aggro because they can teleport and chase after you, as that one there did. So I didn't realize quite how many witches were on my tail until at one point I decided when I got in Jessamine's room that I wanted to look around because, I mean, there might be cool stuff in there, right? Oh my god, it was the death chamber. There were so many witches, as you are about to see. Yeah. I, at this point, was panicking. Emily's just gonna open the door through a witch's head, it's fine. So, if you are going to take that route and not stealth, just be aware. Once you enter that room, you better open the safe room right quick, because otherwise, oh boy, are you in for a bad time, because that is a very small room, and it will be packed full of enemies. Hey, so remember how I said that Ramsey would be in this room if you left him here? Hi, Ramsey. So, I guess you had a bad time of things. I did take the time to open up his diary so that if anyone is interested, they can pause it and read it. And there are a series of collectibles that you can get for the ship. This is the last one.
Whoa.
So if you are going for that achievement, then you will need to go to Emily's safe room in this last mission. So because I didn't talk to any Delilah statues, and because I somehow managed to maintain a low chaos status, Delilah is not expecting me, which means that she's got about 4 dogs that are up on this upper level sleeping instead of staying by her side. So that's why I decided to crouch there. Might as well avoid waking up the doggos. They probably need their sleep. There she is, oblivious. Hello, Aunt, we're here. For the next section, I know that there are a lot more grand ways to dispatch of Delilah, like destroying all of her body doubles and confronting her in one-on-one combat, but I'm not that type of gal, I much prefer sneaking up on people and, not fighting more enemies than I have to, so I decide to make my way up this cliff area here. I wasn't actually sure that I could do this without Far Reach or Blink, but luckily you can. And there she is, the lady that caused all this trouble. And since it was a lot easier to kill her than to create the corrupted rune, I did end up killing her. Sorry, Delilah. I know that you had a pretty shit time.
You caused too much suffering to live.
But according to Emily, you've caused too much suffering to live, so. And I wasn't 100% sure if Delilah's body doubles, or whatever the game calls them, were still active after you killed her. So I did crouch and stealth my way back up the stairs here, just because, well, if they were still active, I didn't really want to fight them. It's okay, Corvo, we're here, everything's fine now.
Father,
Emily, what happened?
let's sit down. I'll explain it all.
Alright, so that was a No Powers, Flesh and Steel playthrough. Hopefully you all enjoyed, and it was at least informative if you're planning on doing a Flesh and Steel run yourself. I'm gonna let the epilogue roll, but if you're interested, there is a bonus scene afterwards, so stick around.
With the fall of Luca Abel, the Duke's line ended, and there was only one man suited for the Grand Palace. Rising up from nothing, he had served the Empire with distinction. Duke Corvo, the first of his line. In Dunwall, with the death of Delilah Copperspoon, her coven lost its power, and their short-lived coup came to an end. The rightful Empress returned to the throne and began extinguishing the fires across her city. So it was that Emily the Just, Emily the Clever, would fulfill her destiny, ruling for decades over a mended empire, with Corvo Attano's support from the south. In his day, Anton Sokolov fired the engines of industry, hurtling the empire into a more sophisticated age. He dallied with nobles, wayward artists, and great inventors alike, drinking in all that life could offer. Leaving Dunwall for the last time, he headed to the cold north, contented at last, on a final voyage to take him home. There are things that never change, no matter how hard you try. Questions you must answer. As Megan Foster faded from the world, Billy Lurk stepped from her shadow, setting out to discover her truest self, and seeking the closest thing she'd ever known to family.
Okay, well, that was a lot of bad guys, but I'm glad that I'm finally within the safety of the what the fuck. Oh my god, why are there so many people? Holy shit, okay, well, that is the most dead I've ever been in a video game ever.